Okay, well, hello. I'm gonna be your physiotherapist for today.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I can ask you your name and can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So first of all, I'm Dan. Sports-wise, I am a swimmer. So I did swimming since I was little. Not extreme performance. I did go to competitions, but never really pushed it anything hard. And I think I'm doing pretty okay as a swimmer. I also do work out generally, like I try to work out all my muscles, but I never really went past that performance level that some people have.
And you came to be with a problem. You said that you cannot really reach that extra performance. Can you tell me what exactly do you think you're lacking?
Well, I mean, first of all, training, enough training, but it's also, I think, what affects me a lot, especially when I have to kick, and kicking is extremely important in swimming, is I have almost zero ankle mobility. Ever since I was little, I tried to fix it a few times by just doing the same stretch where I would just try and sit on my legs with the butt on my legs, and that helped a bit, but it did not fully work. And in the end, I feel like what I need to do for this to actually help me become much better at swimming and other movements in general is to improve my ankle mobility. Because I also feel sometimes when I do certain motions after start doing certain moves, I would use my knees a lot. Um, I feel like if I stand on my ankle in a certain way, then I would feel it in the knee. So I'm thinking that maybe these two are connected somehow. Also, when it came to knees, I've been doing a lot of pistol squats whenever I work out, and those do tend to use the knees, but also the ankle. So I think maybe it's because of that ankle mobility that it has affected me in a certain way.
Okay. Based on that, you can definitely try to perform some examinations to check a little bit about like your mobility in the lower part of your body, and then we can check a little bit of why this mobility is lacking or why your knee is starting to hurt after you stand in a certain way.
It doesn't happen constantly. It just happens from time to time. Just often enough to remind me that it's there, but not often enough for me to go, oh, okay, I really have to go check this out.
So, do you think there is something specific that triggers that pain?
I'm not sure, honestly. I mean, whenever I bike, I do have my seat lower than usual, and I could not fix that. And I've been told that that could be a hazard for the knee. But the person that took care of my bike and actually repaired it told me that my seat level was almost right at the edge. So right now, it shouldn't affect my knee. Like it shouldn't be anything bad for me. But at the same time, I do tend to bike with higher speeds on higher gears. So I try to push a lot more, almost daily.
Just give me a second, let me put this down a bit more. God damn it. I'm gonna cut off that part of the video anyways.
I feel like you should keep it just that part.
Just to keep it real.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to keep it real. I see. So there's no specific triggers that you can find. Maybe we can conduct some testings to see if there is maybe muscle weakness or maybe something else. We can definitely check a little bit on that.
Maybe, yeah, also it may be just some random tendon that just annoys me in that area. Because I also had that problem sometime at the elbow when it comes to doing diamond push-ups, which I did a lot when I was little. I did not have this problem. And then it suddenly started, and it doesn't hurt or anything like that. It just feels like whenever I'm doing this motion, but with actual force on the ground, and my hands are pressed together like this on the ground, I feel something just weird here. Like I feel something moving, nothing hurting, nothing bad, just weird.
And do you think that might be due to technique?
It may be, but I think diamond push-ups aren't that hard when it comes to technique. So if I did mess up something, it should not affect me at that elbow level. Perhaps. But I also been maybe another cause for that is, yeah, there's plenty of reasons I could think of. Another cause for that is that whenever I started doing push-ups again, instead of doing regular push-ups, I had two stands on which I had to balance, and then I would go much deeper. And I've learned now recently that I'm not supposed to go extremely deep because then it just puts a lot of pressure on my elbow. So that might affect it. but it's weird because it's just something with mobility, and it just feels right here on this arm, this part, a bit at the back or a bit at the elbow. Nothing hurting, just something moving.
No tension? Any tension at all when you do that?
No tension. Just I don't know. It's just like it's you're holding on a band. Like my arm is held together by a band, and every time I'm doing that movement, that band is switching sides over let's say the bone, and I'm feeling it. It's like I have a band here, and every time I'm doing the movement, I hit the band every time I'm doing that. It's not bad. It's just I feel some.
Huh.
It's
Can you put your hand here for a second?
like this, yeah.
Put your hand here on me, on my arm.
Okay, here.
Or like put your arm like that. Is
Okay.
it like that?
Yes, kinda.
Okay, so yeah, I see we have like a similar issue.
It's not necessarily popping. I
It's-
don't think
It's not necessarily painful, but it's definitely something that you're aware of.
yes, it's something that I'm aware of, and I'm not sure if that something can be heard or felt by somebody else. It's just I just feel like something is moving there. No
Yeah.
popping, not. I don't think it's bone related. I feel like it's more tendon related. I'm not sure
Yeah, it's
how
I-
to explain it.
I am not qualified for that. It's a issue that I myself
Yes.
want to look into because I also have it. But yeah, it's interesting. It's something that definitely adds into the conversation.
Mhm.
Okay, so we can go a little bit back into the initial problem as
Yes.
to why you came to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. We're here to discuss what you want.
Yeah, I just wanted to add as many details as possible. And then
Yeah,
I just
no,
carried on.
that's really good. So I get a little bit more of an overview of yourself. Can I ask you how many times do you work out a week?
I usually try and go swimming at least 2 times a week, and I try to work out 1 time a week. And usually those workouts, I try to do a bit of everything, but every time I do legs, which are just pistol squats actually. I rarely do any other movements. Then abs, where I try and do multiple movements, usually leg raises and other plank variations like hollow plank. And then a bit of back with rings. So nothing really intense. I don't usually use weights. I use a lot of body weight. Whenever I train, I like to use body weights.
Okay.
Rarely
So,
I use my actual weights, but that's for biceps only.
so you say that you do lower body related pistol squats is the only thing that you do?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. You don't do anything related to the calves or the lower legs?
No, I don't train them usually, which I felt, but at the same time, they are pretty okay because swimming means I jump a lot and
Yeah.
I jump a lot and I push myself a lot and I do a lot of this jumping motion, so I do feel my calves. The problem is that I used to, when I started working out this year, is I did not do pistol squats. I started with having actual weights in my arms and then just doing jumping squats. And after a while, I stopped because I was worried that maybe it would put too much pressure on my knees, having weights and actually doing jumping squats.
And you're scared that maybe these extra exercises in the leg might trigger more pain in your knee, or
I'm
and
afraid.
is that one of the reasons you don't do more exercises for your lower body?
Usually it's also because of time, because if I can get to the gym once a week, I should try and get as many muscles as possible. And I feel like pistol squats hit the muscles the hardest, and I like them. But it's a reason I think is just that I don't want to force too much pressure on my knees, because I also have really my. That's why I stopped doing that exercise with the weights with jumping squats, because it's really fun for me. I like doing that exercise where I just hold that weight there. I hold it like this. I go into squat position and then I jump as far as possible. But I feel like whenever I go down, then I would be putting too much pressure on my knees. I don't feel it, but I fear that that could lead to future pain. I felt the pain mostly whenever I would just walk to class or walk at random intervals. Nothing actually before or after sport necessarily. My thinking is maybe it's because of the biking, because usually that happens a bit after biking, and at biking I do a lot of this motion, which might use the knee because my seat is lower.
Okay, so if I were to ask you, you said that you work out like once a week and you try to hit as many muscles as you can. Can you tell me like the reason why do you don't work out like more days?
More days, it's strictly about time. Because if I want to do both swimming and gym, that means already going to the SEC at least 3 times a week, and I have to combine that with trying my best to get good grades. So it's mostly a matter of time. So okay, if I were living closer, I would be going much more often because then it would be much easier. But as I'm standing right now, it takes me 30 minutes with the bike to get to the SEC. So I really have to choose when I'm going, if I'm going, and because otherwise I would be doing it more often. At the start of the year, I was going to the gym twice a week, and I was trying to go swimming 3 times a week. But it was really hard to combine all of these.
So if I make a training plan for you, I would like you to tell me whether you could fit, or like, is there any way for you to?
If they use body weight or just equipment that generally relies on body weights, like I have bands at home, I have ankle weights, I don't have regular weights. Like that's I'm missing pull-up bars and regular weights, which is why I go to the gym. But I have all the other stuff at home, and if there's a plan, I can fit it in my home because if I hurry, a workout won't take
Yeah,
longer
that's
than.
more than enough.
Yes.
If you can fit workouts that you can do at home, that's then definitely it's something that I can help you on. So if I make a treatment plan that is based on you working out from home, do you think it's attainable for you to work out more often?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I do have around half the week. I have those days free, where I'm not constantly stuck with actual school related stuff. And usually in that time, I study or do something else. But if I were at home, I could study, take a break, and start doing those exercises.
I can definitely give you like 30 minutes worth of workout. So
Definitely.
if I had to say that something that may be related to the issues in your lower body is that you don't train enough and you put too much strain into your lower body when you're doing certain activities, and that might be one of the issues why your knee, for example, is hurting. It's something that, of course, I have to test,
Yes.
but it's something that we can start on as soon as we reach a common ground when it comes down to your SMART goals.
Yes.
So we're gonna be making a series of goals. For example, the first one is what your main one, which is gonna be improve your ankle mobility,
Yes.
and your coordination. Just can you tell me a little bit about how long do you think this should take for you?
I mean, honestly, how long should this process take? Like recovering and improving my mobility, or what do you mean by process?
Do you think? What do you think it's a good time frame for you to like improve, to see improvements? How do you see yourself in the next 4 weeks, 6 weeks?
I mean, if I start seeing improvements, usually when I start working out on something specifically, I already start seeing slight improvements, very slight, in the first few days. But if I see something in the first 2 or 3 weeks, I'm already pretty happy. Because if I make it part of my routine, then at one point I won't care that much about the progress, and it'll just be part of my routine. Of course, I'll try and push myself more and more every time.
Okay, that sounds. So let's say that if I were to give you, no sé, Spanish, sorry.
Oh, you también?
So if we say I were to give you a time frame of a month and a half to see improvements in both your pain and your ankle mobility, do you think that's realistic for you?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, as long as it doesn't go specifically into the summer, because in the summer everybody will be going and doing stuff, I think it's very fine.
I have plenty to work on. You have given me a lot of information. So based on this, we can definitely, as I said, make a treatment plan. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of testing, a little bit of examination. Hopefully, we find some time for you to do that. If not, we can. I can give you the exercises, and then you can do it from home. Yeah. And tell me how you feel.
Yes.
And then based on that, we can move forward. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.